A few days ago, I had a friend ask me about tying a bracelet using a Norton knot. And so I said to him, I says, well, how many bites does it have to be, or how big? And he said that 7.5 to 8 inches. So I got this Yeti cup, and it is 10 inches. And I tied this knot, which I started out with a 3-part 11 Bight Casa Knot, and then I raised it to a 5-part 19 Bight Casa Knot and put a Norton interweave into it. And I can get my hand through it, and it fits my wrist about right. So then I did a smaller one, which this, you can see, this is tighter. I tied them with the same string. But this, I started with a 3-part 8 Bight Casa Knot, and I raised it to a 5-part 14 Bight Casa Knot, and I put a Gaucho fan interweave in it. And as I said, this fits my hand about right. This is a little too small for me, but it is too big for my wife. So I thought in this video I would use a 2-inch PVC pipe, and it is 7.5 inches. So this will work for his 7.5 to 8 inch bracelet. And this time I'm going to tie it with, I'm going to start with a 3-part 5 Bight Casa Knot, and then I'll raise it to a 5-part 9 Bight Casa Knot, and then we'll put the Gaucho fan interweave in it. And when you tie a Gaucho fan knot, you're tying 2 knots of the same size together, so it'll be 10 parts and 18 bites. 2-pass Gaucho fan knot. Okay, we're going to start our 3-part 5 Bight Casa Knot, which is the same knot and the same way as tying a Spanish ring knot. So we go around the mandrel, we do an over, then we do an over, then we do an under over, then we come back to the standing end, we do under over, and here is where you do an enlargement for making a 3-part knot bigger around. You pull your working end back, you cross your bites, and then you go under over to lock that in. And now we come under alongside our standing end. That finishes our 3-part 1, 2, 3, 5 Bight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Bight Casa Knot. Now, if we were wanting to go to a 3/8, we'd pull this back across the bites again and make it one more bigger. But that's far enough. So now we're going to do enlargement process number 1 to raise this to a 5-part knot. And we do that on the right-hand side of our standing part. So we went under over the same as the standing part. Now we cross over the standing part, or the one we're following, and we follow it down the left side. So over, under, over. Now the one we're following, we cross over it to the right side and do the same thing. Over, under, over. Now, the one we're following, we cross over it to the left and over, under, over, doing the same thing that it is doing. And that is laying the tracks. Now we're back to our standing end. So we do the process of splitting the tracks. Here are our tracks. So if we have a strand that's going over our tracks, we go over it. And if we have a strand that's going under our tracks, we go under. So we do an over, under, over. Now we turn in the tracks, under, over, under, over. Now we go turn, you go under to get into our tracks, over, under, over. Now, see how this is starting to slip? Let me let it slip completely. See, it slipped clear out. We've got a nested bight here. We've got to put that back in so that we've got tracks. So this outside bight is under, under, and over here it's over, over, and we've got true tracks in the middle. Now, if you're tying those knots that are bigger around, you really have that problem the further into the knot you go. So I'm glad that that slipped out so we could show you. So now under, over, under, over. Now we're back to our standing end, and we go in alongside of it to finish the knot. And you always want to do that, because if you leave this out, you don't have this last bight. Okay, so we've got 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bites. And I'll take this needle off so it's not flopping around. I'll get my interweave string. And on a Gaucho fan knot, we start on the left side of the standing part, standing in, and we're following the left hand side of the primary knot. So under, over, under, over, under, and out the other side. Okay, now we're going to turn, come back into our knot, over, and we're following this side right there. So we're coming over, and we're following our right hand side. Under, over, and out of our knot. Okay, now we're going to come in. We come out over, we're coming in under, we're following the right hand side. Under, over, under, over, under. Straighten that a little. Okay, now this pass we're coming back to our standing ends. So this is where we start splitting our pairs. Okay, we come out under, we come in over, following this side. Over, under, split a pair. See our new color? That is a pair. And we want to split that pair. Okay, over, under, splitting the pair, and out over 2. Okay, coming out over, we're going in under, following this side, under, over, under. You take my slack out. Now see, this is our pair out here, but it's going to always be kind of scawampus. So you got to watch and pull that so we can go over 2 and under the outside one. Now we come back in, over 1, under, split the pair, out over 2. And if you're doing bigger knots, it's the same thing. all the way around until you get back to your standing end, and then you have a new set of pairs to split. Okay, we're coming out over, so we're going in under, over, under, over 2. See, we got to split that pair and straighten that out and go under 1. Okay, here's where we start a new sequence. Okay, we go over 1, under 1, over 1, split a pair, under 2, split a pair, and out over 2. So that'll be our right to left sequence this time around. And now we'll have a new left to right sequence. Okay, we're going under, over, under 2, and split that pair. On this side, it's easier to take our slack out now because you're always going to have this problem with this bight sliding under. There is our pair. We got to go over 2, under 1 to split the pair. Okay, going this way. Over, under 1, over 1, split a pair, under 2, split a pair, and out over 2. Okay, now that we've went over 2, we're going to go under 1, over 1, under 2, split the pair, pull our slack, straighten out these bights, over 2, under 1, and now the knot. Get our twist. Okay, now we're back to this first part. So we're going to have a new sequence. Over 1, under 1, split a pair, over 2, split a pair, under 2, split a pair, and now the knot. Now see how I tried to pull that out? Now it'll still be twisted when we get back to it, but that will help you if you kind of straighten that out. Okay, we're going out over 2. Okay, now we're going to come in under 1, over 2, split a pair, under 2, split a pair, pull our slack out, do our over 2, split that pair, and under 1 and out of the knot. Now, see how we got these 2 red ones together? That's our path right there. Okay, so we're going to go over 1, under 1, split a pair. See this pair right here? That's our pair. Over 1, under 1, split the pair, over 2, under 2, and now the knot. Okay, now we're back to the start of our primary knot, so things are a little, we got these 2 together. Okay, we're going to go under 1, over 2, split that pair, under 2, split that pair, take the slack out. We're going to straighten up this bight that slides under. So we've got our pair right there, over the 2 and under 1, now the knot. Now, see how this jumps clear over here? This strand needs to come over here. It should be laying right there so that we've got red, blue, red, blue. So coming out of our knot with this under, we got to go over that red strand, split this pair, and then do under 2, split a pair, over 2, split a pair, under 2, split a pair, and out the knot over 2. And it's not always good to do a full sequence in one pull because sometimes it'll twist your knot, but it worked out all right there. Okay, when we come out of our knot over 2, we're coming in under 2, split a pair, over 2, split a pair, under 2, split a pair, Take our slack out. Okay, here's our messed up bights. So we got to go over the red and the blue, pull this bight out to split our pair, and under one out of the knot. Now, see how our bight slid over? We got to pull it out and lay it right there so that we can go over one, split a pair, under two, over two, under two, over two, and out of the knot. Now we're back to our start. We go over our working end and standing end of our primary knot and go in alongside the standing end of our secondary knot. And that finishes our 10-part, 18-bight, 2-pass Gaucho fan knot. That will be a nice little bracelet. And if you pull it up, it won't have all that slack in it, and it'll be a little bit smaller. But I took that to my wife, and she run her hand in it, and it fit hers pretty good. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you try tying this knot. Thank you for watching.